Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Anna, and today we're going to be doing a video all about eyeshadow placement to get a very lifted look. This video is kind of my take on Karima McKimmy's eyeshadow placement video she did a while back for kind of a nice lifted everyday makeup look, and I absolutely fell in love with the technique. It was kind of one of those things, it's a little bit of a game changer for you where you're like, oh, it's such a small change but it makes such a big difference. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I will have Karima's video linked in the eye because she goes into so much more detail and explanation on the placement and everything like that. But for today, I just kind of want to show you little tweaks and changes that I made to suit my little bitty eye shape. And yeah, if that interests you, just go ahead and keep on watching. But before you do, don't forget to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on because apparently YouTube likes that. I don't know what YouTube likes anymore. I don't think anybody does. I don't think YouTube even likes us anymore, but whatever. Without further ado, let's go ahead and just get into the makeup. Okay, hi guys. Today we're going to be playing with some new techniques that I've kind of picked up and been also a little bit reminded of by Karima McKimmy. She did a video the other day about how she's updated her eyeshadow placement. A, it brought back how I used to do my eyeshadow way back in the day, kind of reminded me of that. And B, it also gave me inspiration to play with placement once again and make very subtle changes to the placement of the eyeshadow that make the biggest difference in the finished result. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I will link her video down below and in the eye. She goes into so much detail about the placement and just very thorough video. And in this video, we're going to kind of tweak it to suit my eye shape. I have smaller eyes than Karima, and I have very downturned, kind of droopy, sleepy eyes. So I do have to kind of play with it a little bit, tweak the placement ever so slightly to suit my eye shape because I have a much larger like brow bone that kind of got to compete with. But the video that she posted, after I watched it, I was like, I want to give that a try. And I've been playing with it here for like a couple of months now, I think, honestly, since the video's been posted. I noticed such a difference in the way that my eyes look after I do my eyeshadow by following her little tips and tricks. So that's why we can sit down and do a look and kind of follow her guidance on how she likes to do eyeshadow and just some little tweaks that I made to suit my eye shape. I think that this placement is something that is very mature lid friendly, hooded eye friendly. If you have downturned eyes like me, 9 times out of 10, you're combating it and trying to get a more lifted look, a little bit more of a awake look. And that's something I've always struggled with because I always look pretty much stoned all the time. It's just the way my eyes are made. I kind of look like French Stewart from Third Rock from the Sun. If you're familiar, I definitely have that squinty little shrimp eye situation going on, and I like to try to make my eyes look a little bit bigger than they are and a little bit more symmetrical, which symmetry is just non-existent on my face, so I don't worry about it too terribly much. But anyway, let's go ahead and just dive into some eyeshadow. I'm going to use the Nude Mood palette today from ColourPop because I feel like it's just kind of the perfect palette to just go through these techniques with. It's not too dissimilar from what she used in her video. The only thing I think I'm going to be skipping out on is the first step, which is when she goes in with, I believe it's an Eyes to Mesmerize, like cream shadow from Charlotte Tilbury. I honestly don't have anything in my collection like that. I was thinking about it, I was like, I really don't have any of those kind of glowy, just cream eyeshadows. But the rest of the products, I think I can kind of replicate and dupe, even though you don't have to dupe these colors. You could really do this look with any color story that you wanted. I just feel like this palette suits the vibe really well for what I'm going for today. We're going for, soft, everyday, easy peasy eyeshadow with just updated placement. And this is one of my favorite palettes from ColourPop. I've loved it since I got my little hands on it. And so today I thought we would play with Nude Mood, kind of and follow along with Karima's techniques. The other thing that I'm going to do that's a little bit different from Karima is start with a eyeliner. Now this is something I picked up actually from Hung Van Gogh. It's starting with an eyeliner to kind of get your placement where you want it and blend it out and use it kind of as a base. And I've really loved that technique and found it to be very beneficial to me. So yeah, we're going to go in with a brown eyeliner first. This is the Huda Beauty Creamy Kohl Liner in Very Brown. I also feel like brown really lends itself well to the vibes of today. Now, if you've watched my channel for a while, you know that I go to town on my eyeshadow. And I love a smoky eye and always will. And I'm not going to stop doing my classic smoky eye look where I just have blended out big, bold eyeshadow. And that's forever will be my vibe. I've been practicing a little more restraint and not blending my eyeshadow all the way out to my temples, which is something that I was doing for quite a while there, and realized it was almost making my eyes look a little bit more downturned than they are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this eyeliner though, just to go ahead and get my placement down. The biggest tip from her video is pulling everything in by like a millimeter or two from the outer corner, whereas normally I would be following my lower lash line coming up and out and going at this angle right here. Today, what we're going to do is take things a little bit further in and follow a more vertical angle and really come up with everything. Go towards the tail of my eyebrow, which I have fairly short brows. But we're going to try to keep everything within this little shape right here in this space and keep things really kind of focused towards the mobile lid and not coming all the way out here like I've been doing. So let's go ahead and pop on some eyeliner. I'm going to start right here, and where I am starting my placement is in just about 1.5 millimeters. I'm not good at the metric system. I don't know. I'm American. But we're going to start about right here, and I'm going to create a wedge shape with this eyeliner. And see, I have a little bit of blank space right here on this very outer part of the lid. We're going to kind of keep that blank. But we're not going to have any harsh lines either. We're going to let it kind of diffuse. But we're going to focus the pigment and the depth a little bit further over than where I would normally place it. And when we come towards the inner part, I'm just going to let it taper off into nothing. And really just let it be into the lash line. Let it disappear into the lash line. And just by doing that, can you see the amount of lift that's added just as an optical illusion? This pretty much what the look is about, is creating an optical illusion on the eyes and contouring things to make them look a little bit more pulled back than they are. And after I've popped that on, I'm going to take a little blending brush here and just soften that out slightly, keeping that placement but just smoking the liner out just a bit. And we're going to use that as our base for our other shades and just a bit of a guidance, if you will. And there's something about having that depth underneath the eyeshadow from a liner that I think makes things look really pretty and very blended, and it has a nice soft effect while still having a bit of drama. And this is a look you can definitely play up and add the drama if you wanted to. We might have to do a super dramatic high contrast version of this just to do it. Ultra glam version. I'm just going to build that liner up where I want it and then just kind of blend it inward a bit. And slightly tapping motion just to keep it from going everywhere. We want things to be nice and soft. Another thing in this look, I'm going to completely pretty much disregard where the crease in my lid is and just apply the eyeshadow where I want to a little bit and ignore the fold. We're going to be really focusing more with the orbital bone and just having a nice kind of glowy, pretty, softly contoured eye look. And really, you could just do some liner like this, blend it out, throw on some mascara, and you're kind of set. Put a little bit of glow on the lid. You don't have to do all the steps. And this is a look you can totally customize to your eye shape. It really just depends on how you want to enhance your eyes. You can already see like really quite a bit of lift that is given the lids just by applying the eyeliner a little bit further in than where I normally would apply it, instead of coming from underneath and up and out a little bit more. We're going to be going more upwards and a little less out, if you will. Now we're going to move on to the eyeshadow itself. I'm going to take a Sigma Detail Diffuse Crease, a very kind of small, tapered blending brush, and we're going to go into this eyeshadow right here to start. It's just kind of a slightly warm, neutral brown right here. Very mid-tone transition type of shade. And we're going to go over where we applied that liner. And as Karima describes it, is making a stripe, basically at a slight angle, kind of up and out. Now for my eye shape, I feel like a little bit more of an angle works a bit better, just because I do have such a large brow bone, and it does kind of, is a little heavy. If I went just straight up, it wouldn't flow very well, in my opinion, on me personally. But yeah, we're just going to create that nice horizontal shape there with this brush, so we have nice, good control. And as it comes up, we're just going to let it diffuse. You can slightly kind of blend it inward a bit. And I'm using a very light hand, very soft, gentle motions. So everything looks very diffused and blended. And I'm going to relax my eyes to make sure the placement is kind of where I want it. And there's no disconnect in there anywhere. I do have quite a bit of space to work with. And I want everything to be visible when my brows are relaxed. Kind of blend towards the brow bone. This really reminds me of like a Wayne Goss type of placement. Again, I think you could also just stop right here if you wanted to. And for good measure, I am going to take a regular size diffuse crease. Just a nice soft blending brush. And just soften anything out. And I'm going to soften right out here, but I'm not putting any pigment there. I just don't want like a super harsh line. We're not doing like a distinct graphic wing or anything with this look, which you totally could. I think that could look really chic if you did. Okay, and now we're going to go with a little bit of a deeper shade. I'm actually going to swap over to that blending brush we originally used. This is kind of a, how do you describe these types of brushes? Like a bullet brush kind of style. A dense, kind of rounded dome brush. That's it. We're going to take the deepest brown in this palette, which is a beautiful, warm, chocolatey brown, and place that a little bit more concentrated on that outer corner. I'm going to start by kind of tapping it on. Again, making sure we're not coming all the way out, and slightly diffusing that over very gently, and following that kind of wedge angled stripe shape that we're going with. And right here, I'm actually going to be tucking it in right into that fold just to lift that a little bit. You can go back to that detail diffuse crease and soften things up. And I'm going to blend inward. Very feather-like motions. Very soft. You can continue to add the dark brown until you get that depth level that you want. I'm a little bit dramatic with my eyeshadow. I like to add a little bit more depth in there. I like things to be fairly dark towards the outer corner. So I'm just going to add a little bit more right out there for a little more contrast. Again, staying that kind of millimeter in where we put the eyeliner. And normally I would have brought that transition shade all the way in to the bridge of my nose practically, and all the way out to here, which I still love that look and still do it. Just depends on the mood and the vibe. All right, and I'm going back to my larger diffuse crease, the original diffuse crease, and just really kind of soften everything out a bit. So everything is looking very soft and diffused all around. Now all this brush is clean. I'm going to take a bit of a creamy colored eyeshadow. Just come right in here. Just to make sure that's bright around the inner part. And if you blend it up too high or anything, you can take your face powder or just a light matte shade that matches your skin tone and just soften everything up around the edges. And you could keep this look totally matte and it would look really pretty. I'm taking a little bit more of that transition shade we used originally, just making sure everything looks the way I want. What I like about this look is that you're getting that nice contour to the eye without any real heaviness from the eyeshadow. Just everything's very kind of soft and airy feeling, while still having some depth and definition around the eye without it being harsh. Then what I'm going to do is take a little bit of that transition shade on my diffused crease, detail diffused crease. We're going to come right on the inner corner here, just on the mobile lid, and just kind of add a little bit of depth right there. Just a very small amount. And now we're going to go in with a shimmer, and she uses a Super Shock shade for this, and I think that's kind of the perfect formula for this step because it has so much sparkle and glitter and dimension to it. So we're going to take the Super Shock from the center of the palette right here. I'm just going to take it on my finger and pop it onto the center of the lid where we left a blank spot, and I'm going to let it come up. I'm going to do kind of a spotlight placement. And just going to disregard the fold in the lid, let the shimmer come all the way up, let it slightly diffuse across the lid, just kind of tapping whatever's left, but the bulk of the pigment will be on the center. You can take your blending brush and soften anything up. If you feel like anything is looking too harsh, I love having the glow from the lid come all the way up a little bit past the crease. I think it just looks really pretty. You're just having a very glowy look across the lid. I like working with the Super Shock formula because it's kind of easy to apply. It's not much fallout, and you can just tap it on with your finger or get a slight wash with a brush. Now what I'm going to do is go back with my brown liner and kind of intensify the lash line a little bit more. You could also use a black for this step, or any color liner you want, really. Doesn't particularly matter. Yeah, it's up to you. And just kind of make a little bit of a wedge shape again and softly diffuse. So I want it to look like where you can't see where the liner begins and the eyeshadow ends kind of thing. I want it to just all kind of flow together to soft gradient. And again, the trick really is keeping things just inward a little bit more than you would think. It's such a subtle change. It makes such a big difference. If you wanted more control with this step, you could use an angled liner brush, something like this. You could really get in there if you wanted to and do just a little, kind of a flicky shape, very softly. I'm going to tight line a little bit right in the lash line, right under here, and work that into the lashes. And Karima does show actually using a little bit of a black liner, just really tight to the lash line. So we'll go ahead and do that just for the sake of demonstration. Just a little bit right there. Very concentrated. What I like about this look is that it doesn't scream eyeliner or eyeshadow necessarily. It's just kind of something very ethereal about it with the glow on the lid and the emphasis being more on the center instead of the inner corner. I have kind of crepey inner corners naturally. I've always held some lines right there, so sometimes shimmer doesn't always look the best on my very inner corner. And this is actually a bit more of a flattering placement for my lid, I think. A little bit more youthful looking on myself, personally. Now at this point you can go in and see is there anywhere you want to intensify, build up a bit more. So you can take maybe a little bit more of that mid-tone shade and kind of come right here, build things up ever so slightly. And that's the upper lid pretty much done. And if you feel like you kind of blend it out and down a little bit more, you can always take a Q-tip. Or if you've already done your face makeup, take a little bit of, take your foundation brush, your beauty blender, concealer brush, and just kind of come like right out here and clean that up ever so slightly. And just kind of clean that up a bit if you wanted to. And that can give you a little more lift on the outer corner. Like, just for instance, since I haven't done my face makeup, I'm just going to take this Q-tip, little pointed one. Just kind of soften right out here. clean things up just a little bit. Q-tip is your best friend. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and do the rest of my face makeup, and then we'll be back to do the lower lash line and some finishing touches, a little bit of mascara. You know the drill. All right, and we are back. I just finished up face makeup, lips, touched up the hair, zhuzhed the hair rather, and touched up my brows. Everything I used will be listed and linked below if I remember. Anyway, next up, we will curl the lashes. I finally found my lash curler. It was hidden. It was under my chair this whole time. It's been gone for like a month. But anyway, let's give the lashes a little curl. Now, Karima does go into a little bit more detail about how she curls her lashes, where she kind of creates a nice soft C shape. She's got these glorious long lashes, and I don't, so I don't have enough to pinch to do all that with. But we'll try. I'll make a little attempt here. Instead of curling them straight up and kind of crimping them. This gives a little bit of a softer effect. There we go. I've been kind of practicing with that. The first time I did it, it did not go well. But I've been playing with it a little bit and getting somewhat better at it. And next up is mascara. We're going to use the Well People Expressionist Volumizing Mascara. I think I've been calling this Exhibitionist. It's Expressionist. Exhibitionist is the CoverGirl mascara. But if you are in the market for a nice, good, like clean mascara, this one's a really, really nice formula. Really volumizing, just all around a great formula. And it's kind of hard to find like a really good quality, clean mascara, I've noticed. And yeah, go ahead and just pop some of this on. Another thing she points out that she does is she doesn't apply mascara to these very last outer corner lashes that kind of can droop down. And I have those as well that kind of want to fall down no matter how much I curl them. So yeah, just focusing more of the mascara towards a little bit further over to the center and just letting it kind of touch the outer ones. Well, I mean like the very outer ones. And she also emphasizes taking your time when applying mascara, and I cannot agree with her more. Slow and steady wins the race when it comes to mascara. And if you wanted to, you could really polish this look off with some individual false lashes, something like the Falscara system from Kiss, or their Impress lashes, the ones that go right under the lash band. Those are a lovely little option for just something very soft and virtually undetectable that look like your lashes, but just a little added oomph. I would just focus some like right in this outer portion, but not coming all the way to the outer corner. Even some little half lashes would make such a huge impact with a look like this as well. But I am going in with a couple of coats of mascara, not just the one, just getting some nice volume. I love very fluffy, voluminous lashes. We're gonna hit the lower lash line really quickly with just a touch of the shimmer shade that we used on the center of the lid. And I'm just gonna take a small little smidgen of that. I'm just gonna take it on a little bitty brush here, so it's easier for me to apply it that way. And kind of just come right into the center and let it diffuse. And there we go. Just a really nice kind of soft, chic, everyday lifted, glowy eye. And that's what I absolutely love about this look, is that it doesn't scream makeup in your face. It's just something very pretty. Like, to me, this is gorgeous for like first date type of makeup. I don't know, or just a nice occasion, or just every day to work. I think there's something kind of fresh about it, pretty, put together, and just nice. I think it's just a nice look. And again, you could do this with any color story that you want to use. You could do some greens. You could use like the Yucca palette from Natasha Denona, and that could look really, really cool. That's taupe. Doing this with the cool tones. Oh, that would be so pretty. I just want to kind of keep things a little neutral today, leaning warm and just super glowy and fresh. So that is what I did. Let me know your thoughts below. And don't forget to check out Karima's video. Again, it is linked in the eye. Her content is beautiful. Her editing style is just so relaxing and so pretty to watch. There's something about the way she edits the videos and the way she films them that is just so beautifully done. It's just the most aesthetic thing I've ever seen. I love just her editing style and just the angles and the way she sets the camera up in the room she's in. Everything just looks so beautiful and dreamy. So yeah, definitely check her channel out. She has some amazing content over there. I've loved her for years. She kind of took a break from YouTube and came back with a bang because the content has just been beautiful, relaxing. But anyway, this is my take on her eyeshadow placement and how I kind of adjusted it and customized it a little bit to suit my eye shape. Let me know your thoughts down below, and if you want to see a super duper glam version of this, I would be more than happy to do that. And yeah, let me know any questions, concerns, comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye now.